For millennia, the galactic conglomerate had reigned supreme over the known cosmos. This coalition of ancient alien civilizations had long ago vanquished all challengers to their iron-fisted rule, cementing their status as the undisputed masters of the galaxy. At the heart of the conglomerate's power lay their unparalleled military might. Vast armadas of towering, heavily armed capital ships bristled with enough destructive force to lay waste to entire worlds. The conglomerate's advanced technologies, from directed energy weapons to hyperdrives capable of near-instantaneous travel, were the envy of lesser civilizations. Yet the true source of the conglomerate's supremacy went beyond mere technological superiority. It was their unwavering belief in their own supremacy, their conviction that no other species could ever hope to match their might, that truly set them apart. The conglomerate's leaders viewed the countless subjugated worlds and species under their domain not as equals, but as subjects to be controlled and exploited for the greater good of the empire. "We are the enlightened custodians of the galaxy," Vornak, the conglomerate's high overseer, proclaimed during one of his regular addresses to the vassal worlds. "It is our sacred duty to bring order and prosperity to the lesser civilizations, to lift them up and integrate them into our glorious vision. Those who resist will be crushed beneath the might of our fleets." Across the conglomerate's territories, trillions of beings from a myriad of species lived under the watchful eye of the occupying forces, their lives and livelihoods dictated by the ever-changing edicts and demands of their alien overlords. Any hint of dissent or defiance was ruthlessly quashed, a clear message sent to all who would dare challenge the conglomerate's supremacy. Yet despite the vastness of their empire and the absolute power they wielded, the conglomerate's leaders remained deeply insecure. The specter of potential rivals, of upstart civilizations that might one day rise up and threaten their dominance, constantly loomed in the back of their minds. Elaborate safeguards and constant surveillance were employed to stamp out any whispers of rebellion or technological advancement that could upset the delicate balance of power. "We must remain ever vigilant," Vornak would caution his advisors. "The galaxy is a treacherous place, filled with those who would seek to undermine our great civilization. Any sign of weakness, any crack in our armor, and the entire edifice could come crashing down around us." So the conglomerate continued to expand, to subjugate more worlds, and absorb more species into their fold. Their fleets patrolled the distant reaches of space, hunting down any signs of technological progress or political unrest that could potentially threaten their rule. In their arrogance, the conglomerate's leaders were convinced that no power in the galaxy could ever hope to challenge their supreme dominance. Little did they know that, in a remote corner of the cosmos, a small, isolated world called Earth was about to shatter their unyielding belief in their own invincibility. Deep within the uncharted fringes of the Milky Way galaxy, an advanced conglomerate scouting vessel drifted silently through the void, its sensors sweeping the surrounding systems for any signs of technological activity or budding civilizations. Piloted by a crew of seasoned xenoanthropologists and military commanders, the sleek, wedge-shaped craft was on a routine survey mission, tasked with identifying potential new worlds for integration into the conglomerate's ever-expanding dominion. Sensors are detecting faint emissions consistent with a Class M planetary body, one of the officers reported, his voice betraying a hint of excitement. Atmospheric composition and surface features suggest a Class 3 protoplanetary system, potentially harboring an intelligent species. The captain, a grizzled Vorathian veteran named Chloris, leaned forward in his seat, his four piercing eyes narrowing. "Interesting. Bring us in for a closer look, but maintain stealth protocols. I want a full reconnaissance sweep before we make any moves." As the scouting vessel glided silently through the void, its advanced sensors mapped the unfamiliar system in meticulous detail. Scans probed the lone, temperate planet at the heart of the system, detecting the unmistakable signatures of industrialized activity and artificial satellites in orbit. "By the ancients," Chloris murmured, his mandibles clicking in astonishment. "This world is inhabited by a spacefaring civilization. Their level of technological development is remarkable for a species on the cusp of interstellar travel. The officers exchanged uneasy glances, well aware of the implications. Any species capable of achieving interstellar flight, even at a primitive level, was a potential threat to the conglomerate's supremacy. Such civilizations were routinely annexed and integrated into the empire, their populations subjugated and their resources plundered to fuel the conglomerate's ever-expanding dominion. "Initiate full sensor sweep," Chloris ordered, his tone grim. "I want to know everything about these humans and their homeworld. We must determine the extent of their capabilities before reporting our findings to the High Overseer." For the next several hours, the scouting vessel's advanced instrumentation mapped every facet of the human world, from the sprawling urban centers and industrial complexes to the military installations dotting the surface. The officers pored over the data, their eyes widening with each new discovery. "Remarkable," one of the xenoanthropologists murmured, his mandibles clicking rapidly. "These humans possess a level of technological sophistication far beyond what we would expect from a species at their stage of development. Their military hardware, in particular, is unlike anything we've encountered before." Chloris let out a low, rumbling growl. "Explain." "Their primary warships employ advanced propulsion systems and weapon technologies that defy our current understanding of physics," the officer replied, his tone tinged with both fascination and trepidation. "The energy signatures and maneuverability displayed by these vessels suggest capabilities that could potentially challenge even our most advanced capital ships." The bridge fell silent, the implications of this revelation weighing heavily on the crew. Chloris's eyes narrowed as he contemplated the potential threat this newfound civilization posed to the conglomerate's supremacy. "Initiate emergency recall," he ordered, his voice laced with uncharacteristic urgency. "We must report our findings to the High Overseer immediately. This Earth and its inhabitants represent a grave threat that cannot be ignored." As the scouting vessel's engines flared to life, rocketing it back towards the conglomerate's core systems, Chloris could not shake the unsettling feeling that the galaxy was about to be irrevocably changed. For the first time in countless millennia, the conglomerate's absolute dominance was in jeopardy. And the source of this challenge was a small, isolated world on the fringes of explored space, a world that would soon be the focus of the conglomerate's undivided attention. The conglomerate High Overseer's eyes narrowed as the scouting party's report unfolded before him. The implications of the human civilization's technological capabilities were nothing short of staggering, a potential rival power that could threaten the very foundations of the conglomerate's millennia-old dominion. "Unacceptable," Vornek growled, his mandibles clicking in barely restrained fury. "This humanity cannot be allowed to continue unchecked. Their very existence poses an existential threat to our empire." The conglomerate's ruling council convened in urgent session, poring over the scouting data and debating the appropriate course of action. Some argued for a measured diplomatic approach, seeking to integrate the humans peacefully into the conglomerate's fold. But the majority, driven by a deep-seated fear of any challenge to their supremacy, demanded swift and decisive military intervention. "We cannot risk allowing this civilization to grow stronger," one of the council members argued, his voice laced with venom. "They have already demonstrated technological capabilities that rival our own. We must eliminate them before they become a true threat." Vornak nodded gravely. "So be it. Mobilize our mightiest fleet. We shall descend upon this Earth and bring its people to heel, demonstrating the true power of the conglomerate. Any who dare to resist will be crushed beneath the weight of our might." Within weeks, a vast armada of conglomerate warships, bristling with advanced weaponry and experimental technologies, thundered through the void, heading for the remote human homeworld. At their heart was a dreadnought the size of a small moon, its towering bulk and formidable arsenal a testament to the conglomerate's unparalleled military might. As the alien fleet drew ever closer to Earth, humanity's leaders watched with growing trepidation, their own military forces scrambling to prepare a desperate defense. Radar and sensor networks detected the approaching vessels, and hastily assembled squadrons of fighter craft and missile platforms took to the skies, ready to meet the conglomerate's onslaught. But even as the human forces braced themselves for the coming battle, a new and unexpected weapon was unveiled. A revolutionary warship design unlike anything the conglomerate had ever encountered. Sleek, nimble craft with swept-back wings and powerful engines surged forth from Earth's orbital shipyards, their hulls bristling with advanced energy weapons and cutting-edge defensive systems. These vessels, the product of decades of intensive research and development, represented a fundamental leap in aerospace engineering, defying the conglomerate's established understanding of physics and propulsion. As the conglomerate's armada closed in on the planet, the human warships launched into the fray, their pilots masterfully maneuvering the nimble craft and unleashing withering barrages of fire upon the enemy vessels. Explosions rocked the conglomerate fleet as the human weapons pierced their shields and armor with devastating effect. Chloris, the veteran xenanthropologist now commanding the conglomerate's vanguard, could scarcely believe his eyes. "Impossible," he growled, his mandibles clicking in frantic disbelief. "How can these humans possess such advanced technology? Our finest warships are being decimated." The battle raged on, the human vessels darting and weaving through the conglomerate's clumsy formations, their guns blazing relentlessly. One by one, the alien dreadnoughts and cruisers succumbed to the onslaught, their hulls crumbling under the human onslaught. Vornak, watching the carnage unfold from the safety of the conglomerate's capital, let out a roar of fury. "Retreat," he bellowed. "Pull our forces back immediately. We cannot afford to lose any more ships to these upstart primitives." As the battered conglomerate fleet limped away from Earth, their tails tucked firmly between their legs, the human defenders let out a collective cheer of triumph. But the victory was short-lived, for they knew that this was only the beginning of a conflict that would shake the very foundations of the galaxy. The conglomerate had been humbled, its unquestioned military supremacy shattered by the unexpected capabilities of this newfound adversary. And now, the ancient empire would stop at nothing to eliminate the human threat, before it could grow into an unstoppable force that would challenge the conglomerate's reign over the stars. The conglomerate fleet limped back to its borders, its once mighty armada battered and broken. Chloris, the veteran commander who had led the disastrous attack on Earth, stood before the High Overseer and the Council, his 4 eyes downcast in shame. "The humans, they were able to completely neutralize our technological and tactical advantages," Chloris reported, his mandibles clicking in frustration. "Their warships possess capabilities that defy our understanding of physics and engineering. We were simply outmatched." Vornak's thin lips curled in a snarl of barely contained fury. "Unacceptable. How can a primitive backwater civilization, such as this humanity, possess technologies that surpass our own? This is an affront to the conglomerate's greatness." The council chamber erupted in a cacophony of urgent debate as the assembled leaders struggled to comprehend the implications of this catastrophic defeat. Some argued for a renewed assault, insisting that with greater numbers and firepower, the conglomerate could still crush the human upstarts. Others, however, voiced growing concerns about the true nature of this unexpected adversary. "We must consider the possibility that this is no mere primitive civilization," one of the council members, a shrewd Syrian diplomat, warned. "The level of technological sophistication they have displayed suggests a species with a far deeper understanding of the fundamental laws of the universe. They may possess capabilities that we cannot simply overwhelm through brute force." Vornak's eyes narrowed to slits. "Are you suggesting we show weakness and cower before these humans? That is unacceptable. The conglomerate has ruled the galaxy for millennia, and we will not be usurped by some insignificant backwater world." The Syrian diplomat held his ground, undaunted by the High Overseer's intimidating presence. "I merely caution that we must approach this matter with the utmost care and wisdom. Underestimating this new adversary could have catastrophic consequences for the stability of our entire empire." Chloris cleared his throat, drawing the attention of the bickering leaders. "If I may, High Overseer, The scouting party's data provides some clues as to the nature of the humans' technological prowess. Their warships seem to defy our understanding of physics, employing propulsion and weapon systems that we have never encountered before. The council members leaned forward, their curiosity piqued. Chloris continued, I believe we must undertake a comprehensive study of these human technologies to uncover the scientific principles and engineering feats that allow them to exceed our own capabilities. Only then can we devise effective countermeasures and strategies to neutralize this threat. Vornak considered the proposal, his expression thoughtful. A wise suggestion, Chloris. Very well, assemble a team of our finest scientific and military minds. I want every detail of these human technologies analyzed and understood. We must leave no stone unturned in our quest to eliminate this new challenger to the conglomerate's supremacy. As the meeting adjourned, the conglomerate leaders dispersed, each consumed by their own conflicting emotions. Vornak's face was a mask of fury and determination, his unwavering belief in the Empire's dominance shaken to its core. The Syrian diplomat, meanwhile, retreated to his private quarters, already contemplating the potentially dire implications of this newfound human civilization. For the first time in countless millennia, the conglomerate found itself confronted with a threat that it could not simply crush through the overwhelming application of military might. The very foundations of their supremacy were now in jeopardy, and the future of the galaxy hung in the balance. Klaxons blared throughout the conglomerate's vast intelligence networks as the directive from the High Overseer echoed across the Empire. Locate the human homeworld of Earth at all costs. Legions of scouts, spies, and hunter-killer teams were dispatched to the far-flung corners of the galaxy, scouring every system and planet for any trace of the elusive human civilization. Massive computer arrays and advanced sensor sweeps combed through the void, searching for the telltale signs that could lead them to the source of this newfound threat. Meanwhile, on the human homeworld, the leaders of Earth watched the skies with growing trepidation. They had witnessed the conglomerate's devastating initial assault and knew that the alien empire would not rest until it had crushed their civilization. Preparations for the impending counterattack were underway, with military forces being bolstered and defensive networks fortified to the utmost. They'll be coming back. That much is certain. General Abrams, the commander of Earth's unified planetary defense, said grimly. We need to be ready. Every inch of this world must be fortified against their invasion. Across the globe, vast industrial complexes worked around the clock, churning out new generations of the revolutionary warships that had proven so effective against the conglomerate's forces. Engineers and scientists pushed the boundaries of their designs, incorporating cutting-edge technologies and innovative tactical systems to give humanity the edge in the coming clash. We won't be caught off guard again, Dr. Elena Sinclair, the lead designer of the human warships, declared. These new vessels will be faster, more maneuverable, and more heavily armed than anything the conglomerate has ever seen. They won't know what hit them. Yet even as humanity prepared for the inevitable, the conglomerate's relentless hunt continued. Scouring system after system, the Empire's agents closed in on the trail, using every resource at their disposal to track down the elusive human homeworld. In the depths of the conglomerate's capital, the High Overseer Vornak paced the length of his throne room, his 4 eyes narrowed in concentration. The humans have proven themselves a far more formidable adversary than we anticipated, he growled, his mandibles clicking in frustration. We cannot afford to underestimate them again. Chloris, the veteran commander who had led the initial attack on Earth, stood beside Vornak, his expression grim. The Council has assembled our finest scientific minds to study the human technologies we encountered, but without the ability to directly observe and analyze their warship designs, we are working with limited information. Vornak's eyes gleamed with a cold determination. Then we must obtain that information by any means necessary. I will not rest until we have uncovered every last secret of these humans and their unprecedented capabilities. Dispatch our most skilled operatives to infiltrate their homeworld and gather the necessary intelligence. As the conglomerate's vast intelligence network mobilized, The human defenders on Earth braced themselves for the inevitable reckoning. They knew that their victory in the first clash had only delayed the inevitable, and that the conglomerate's onslaught would soon return with greater fury. "We've bought ourselves some time, but we can't let our guard down," General Abrams said, his gaze sweeping over the bustling military installations and shipyards. "The conglomerate won't stop until they've annihilated us, or we've broken their grip on the galaxy forever." The fate of humanity now hung in the balance, as the race to uncover the secrets of the revolutionary human warships became a desperate struggle for survival against an ancient and powerful empire unwilling to relinquish its supremacy. The night sky over Earth blazed with the thunderous arrival of the conglomerate's massive invasion fleet. Klaxons wailed across the planet as the human defenders scrambled to their stations, their eyes fixed on the formidable armada that blotted out the stars. Chloris, the veteran conglomerate commander, stood on the bridge of the fleet's flagship, his mandibles clicking with a mixture of trepidation and determination. "This time, we will not be caught unawares," he vowed, his 4 eyes narrowing. "Our forces have been bolstered, and we now possess invaluable intelligence on the humans' warship capabilities." The conglomerate's fleet surged forward, its heavy cruisers and dreadnoughts unleashing a devastating barrage of energy beams and missile fire upon the human defensive networks. Explosions rocked the surface of Earth as the alien weaponry pounded the planetary shields and military installations. Yet even as the conglomerate's onslaught raged on, the human warships emerged from their orbital launch bays, their sleek, angular hulls gleaming in the firelight. Piloted by seasoned veterans and newly trained recruits alike, these nimble craft darted and weaved through the alien formations, their powerful energy cannons and missile batteries lashing out with ruthless precision. Chloris watched with a mixture of awe and horror as the human vessels demonstrated capabilities that far exceeded even the latest intelligence reports. Their maneuverability was nothing short of astounding, their pilots executing tight turns and evasive maneuvers that left the lumbering conglomerate warships struggling to track them. "Impossible," the commander growled, his mandibles clicking frantically. "How have they improved their technology so rapidly?" The human warships unleashed a relentless torrent of fire, their weapons piercing the conglomerate's shields and armor with ease. One by one, the alien cruisers and dreadnoughts succumbed to the onslaught, their hulls disintegrating under the barrage. Vornak, observing the battle from the safety of the conglomerate's capital, let out a roar of fury. "Intensify the bombardment. Crush these insolent humans beneath the weight of our might." But even as the conglomerate's forces poured more firepower into the assault, the human defenders held their ground, their warships darting and weaving through the chaos with unparalleled skill. Chloris watched in mounting despair as his vaunted fleet was systematically dismantled by the relentless human counterattack. "Pull back," he finally ordered, his voice tinged with a rare note of panic. "We cannot sustain these losses. Retreat and regroup." The conglomerate's battered armada turned and fled, its once formidable might reduced to a tattered remnant. As the alien ships vanished into the void, the human pilots let out a triumphant cheer, their elation tinged with a growing sense of unease. General Abrams, his face grim, approached the command center. "We've won this round, but the conglomerate will be back, and in greater force. Their determination to crush us is absolute." Dr. Sinclair, the architect of the human warship designs, nodded solemnly. "Then we must be ready. Our technological edge may have bought us time, but the conglomerate will stop at nothing to uncover our secrets and neutralize our advantage." Across the planet, the human defenders redoubled their efforts, pouring every resource into fortifying their defenses and refining their warship designs. They knew that the next clash with the conglomerate would be the decisive battle, one that would determine the fate of their entire civilization. In the depths of the conglomerate capital, Vornak paced the length of his throne room, his mandibles clicking in barely contained fury. "The humans have proven themselves a more formidable opponent than we anticipated, but we will not be defeated so easily. We shall scour the galaxy for the knowledge that will allow us to crush them once and for all." The stage was set for the final, cataclysmic confrontation between humanity and the conglomerate, a clash that would shake the very foundations of the galactic order. The conglomerate fleet's retreat from Earth was a sight that sent shockwaves through the ancient empire. For the first time in countless millennia, the vaunted military might of the conglomerate had been utterly routed, its formidable warships and advanced technologies rendered ineffective against the unexpected capabilities of the human defenders. As the battered remnants of the invasion force limped back to conglomerate space, Vornak, the High Overseer, paced the length of his throne room, his mandibles clicking in a mixture of fury and growing trepidation. "This is unacceptable," he growled, his 4 eyes narrowing to slits. "How can a backwater civilization like humanity possess the means to defy the conglomerate's supremacy?" The Syrian diplomat, who had previously cautioned against underestimating the human threat, stepped forward, his expression grave. "It is precisely because we have underestimated them, High Overseer. The humans have demonstrated a level of technological sophistication that surpasses our own in critical areas. Their warship designs, their tactics, their sheer adaptability, all of it has proven to be the undoing of our vaunted military might." Vornak's claws clenched into fists, the sharp talons digging into his palms. "Then we must crush them utterly, before they can grow stronger and threaten the very foundations of our empire. Summon the council. We must devise a plan to annihilate this human scourge once and for all." As the conglomerate's leaders convened in frantic session, the scientists and military strategists pored over the wealth of data gathered from the disastrous battles. Chloris, the veteran commander, presented his findings, his tone tinged with a rare note of uncertainty. "The humans' warship designs defy our understanding of propulsion, shielding, and energy weaponry," he reported, his mandibles clicking rapidly. "Their technology appears to be based on entirely different physical principles that we have yet to fully comprehend. Every time we think we have identified a weakness, they adapt and counter our strategies with startling speed." One of the council members, a Kreshta physicist, leaned forward, his eyes narrowed in concentration. "If what you say is true, then the humans may possess an innate grasp of the fundamental workings of the universe that surpasses our own. Their technological evolution is proceeding at a rate that we cannot hope to match through conventional means." Vornak's expression darkened, a rare glimmer of fear flickering in his eyes. "Then we must find a way to stop them before they become unstoppable. Redouble our efforts. Pour every resource into understanding the principles behind their warship designs. We cannot afford to lose our grip on the galaxy to these upstart primitives." As the conglomerate leadership descended into a frantic scramble to devise a viable counter-strategy, the human defenders on Earth watched the skies with a growing sense of unease. They knew that the conglomerate's retreat was only a temporary respite, and that the ancient empire would stop at nothing to reclaim its dominance. General Abrams, his weathered face etched with determination, addressed his command staff. "The conglomerate is reeling, but they will be back, and in greater force. We must continue to push the boundaries of our technology, to innovate and adapt faster than they can." Dr. Sinclair, the lead designer of the human warships, nodded in agreement. "Our current designs have proven effective, but we cannot afford to rest on our laurels. The conglomerate will undoubtedly uncover our secrets and devise countermeasures. We must stay one step ahead of them, anticipating their every move." Across the planet, the human industrial base hummed with renewed energy as scientists, engineers, and military personnel worked tirelessly to refine and enhance the revolutionary warship designs. They knew that the fate of their civilization hung in the balance, and that the coming confrontation would decide the future of the entire galaxy. In the depths of the conglomerate capital, Vornak's eyes gleamed with a cold determination. "The humans will learn the true price of defying our rule. We will crush them, no matter the cost. The conglomerate's supremacy will not be challenged, not by these upstarts, nor by any other civilization that dares to stand against us." The stage was set for a decisive clash that would forever alter the balance of power in the galaxy. In the years that followed the conglomerate's humiliating retreat from Earth, the human defenders continued to push the boundaries of their revolutionary warship technology. Guided by the tireless efforts of scientists, engineers, and military strategists, the designs evolved at a staggering pace, incorporating new breakthroughs in propulsion, shielding, and energy weaponry. General Abrams, now a seasoned veteran of the conflict, watched with a sense of both pride and trepidation as the human fleet grew in strength and capability. "We've come a long way since the first battle," he mused, his weathered face etched with determination. "But the conglomerate will not give up easily. They will stop at nothing to regain their dominance." Dr. Sinclair, the architect of the warship designs, nodded in agreement. "That's why we can't afford to rest on our laurels. The moment we become complacent, the conglomerate will find a way to turn the tide. We have to stay one step ahead of them at all times." In the depths of the conglomerate capital, Vornak, the High Overseer, paced the length of his throne room, his mandibles clicking in a mixture of fury and growing unease. The efforts to uncover the secrets behind the human warship technology had yielded precious little progress, despite the Empire's vast resources and the dedication of its finest scientific minds. "We have studied their designs, analyzed their tactics, and yet we still cannot replicate their capabilities," Vornak growled, his eyes narrowing to slits. "How can these humans possess such an innate understanding of the fundamental laws of the universe?" The Xerian diplomat, now a trusted advisor to the High Overseer, spoke up, his voice measured and cautious. "It is precisely because they do not adhere to the same scientific principles that we have long held as immutable. The humans have managed to harness forces and manipulate matter in ways that defy our established models of physics." Vornak let out a frustrated snarl. "Then we must find a way to counter their technological superiority, or the conglomerate's reign over the galaxy will crumble. I will not allow these primitives to usurp our rightful place as the supreme rulers of the cosmos." As the conglomerate leadership continued its desperate struggle to devise an effective countermeasure, the human defenders on Earth prepared for the inevitable clash. Their fleet, now a formidable force to be reckoned with, stood ready to meet the conglomerate's next onslaught. Yet even as the tension mounted, an unexpected development began to unfold across the galaxy. Diplomats from the conglomerate, led by the ever-cautious Syrian, reached out to the human leadership, proposing a tentative truce and the possibility of establishing formal relations. "The conglomerate can no longer ignore the threat that your civilization poses," the Syrian emissary explained, his tone measured and diplomatic. "We have come to the realization that our long-held dominance may be untenable in the face of your technological prowess. Perhaps it is time we consider a new paradigm, one where we can coexist and even cooperate, rather than be locked in perpetual conflict." General Abrams and his command staff exchanged bewildered glances, scarcely able to believe the words they were hearing. "This is unexpected," the grizzled military leader admitted, his brow furrowed in contemplation. "What exactly are the conglomerate proposing?" The Xerian diplomat cleared his throat, his expression grave. "A formal recognition of your world as a sovereign power, with the opportunity to establish diplomatic and trade relations. In return, we ask that you agree to a cessation of hostilities and a commitment to peaceful coexistence." As the negotiations unfolded, the human leadership knew that they stood at a pivotal moment in the history of their civilization. The galaxy they had once perceived as dominated by the unyielding conglomerate was now shifting, with humanity emerging as a formidable new power that could no longer be ignored or subjugated. It was a testament to the ingenuity, resilience, and sheer determination of the human race. A people who had risen from the ashes of their first encounter with the conglomerate to become a force that could shape the very destiny of the stars.